StreamYard.
I know you had mentioned that piece.
All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good morning. It is me, LaDonna Raeh. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you all that there's a lot going on. As you know, we're watching the news. It's bringing us down, it's bringing us up. We're excited about certain things. However, I want to say that you've got to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. And part of the good is that people are being sent home that were in by Hamas. Okay, so Hamas is ready to send people home, and we're clapping and applauding about that. But then there's the other stuff that we got to look at too. So we're gonna get on with it on the LaDonna Raeh Show. Oh, it didn't even fade out. It just kind of went away. Yeah, thanks. We tried. We tried. We tried. All right, I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh, and I am happy to say that we are, looking at the news, finding that there's good things going on when it comes to the 4-day temporary truce with Hamas and Israel. And because of that, we've got 4-year olds being sent home. Well, a 4-year old. Unfortunately, Abigail Edan was released, but the unfortunate piece is that her parents were killed. However, she was released from Hamas. And because of this temporary truce, more people are being given the opportunity to flee and get away to safety. Innocent people. I mean, they're not part of this war. Let them go, and we can't say go home because their homes are where they're leaving, but let them go to safety so that they can reunite with their loved ones. This temporary truce is only for 4 days. Today is the final day, but hopefully it will be extended, and that will give, us an opportunity to pray for more people to be reunited with their families. And on the medical side of things, hospitals are not able to take care of these patients that have been injured or just unfortunately obliterated. Okay. Because of that, this gives them an opportunity to get to other hospitals and other medical attention. So this is important. To just to go on or not to go on too far, we're going to be talking about AI. Now, AI has been talked about more this year than I've ever heard it before, but it's been around for a long time. And I've got a caller on the line that's going to help me talk to you about AI and how it's been here. And there's an evolution part to it because you guys are thinking, oh my gosh, it just came up in about November of 2022. But that's not the case. AI has been around since women have been wearing makeup. You know what I'm talking about. And on the phone, we have Miss Maya Akai. Hi, Maya.
Good morning, LaDonna. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us today. And I know we had to kind of start out a little dark because, this thing that's going on with Hamas and Israel, let's not forget about Ukraine and Russia, is just, it's bizarre from our vantage point. But this has been going on for a long time. And speaking of long time, the evolution of AI. You and I were talking. We had an offline conversation about how us women have been AI in it for decades, if not generations.
Hmm.
I'm AI in it right now.
So does that mean like AI its original meaning was what altering what the what external internal is that kind of where it kind of evolves from
It,
change
yeah,
evolution.
I think it evolves from there. But women have been under a lot of pressure to darken this, highlight that, suck this in. And I actually recently just removed my extensions. I had braided extensions, and my hair is not that long or thick or that color. And when I took it all out of my head, it made me, I didn't recognize myself. It was like a drug. I was like, oh my God, I got to put it back in. I refused. I refused. So, the evolution of AI with women. Queen Latifah has just recently partnered with small businesses and Lenovo to be a highlight because she's okay with AI being used for her likeness so that Lenovo can get more technology into the homes of folk like you and me. Now, I'm a
Hmm.
Mac mama, so, peace
As
to
I am as well. I am
yeah,
as well.
peace to the Windows users. But with that being said, I just want to make sure that people understand that women are under a lot of pressure when it comes to filtering their own looks. I go online, I see a lot of people using these filters and not using their actual pictures. Why is that? Why do we put
You
on
know,
so much makeup? Why do we have to feel the need to suck it in and go to the Dominican Republic? And some of us got botched. Okay. So,
this is true. This is true. A lot of it has to do with the ideal of perfection. For those of us who work in psychology, we know that most people sit in spaces with you to discuss the fact that their life is anything less than perfect.
mhm,
And even though we truly understand that perfection is not a realistic goal, and most people know it, it doesn't mean you're seeking some individual form of it. And as you said, since the beginning of time, women have always felt that in their, let's say, natural form, it's not good enough. It's really funny because if you dial back time, like let's say if you go back at least, maybe 200 years or so, give it 100. Do you realize that within most societies that if you were actually overweight, that was deemed a sign of health and wealth? That means because you actually had more weight than the average person who was looked at to be poor and skinny and could not afford to eat in food,
mhm,
that you must be someone of importance because you are voluptuous. So it's
mhm,
interesting in how you give it 100-year pendulum swing. And all of a sudden, we've gone from that health and wealth is attributed to being overweight, and now overweight is looked at as being unhealthy and more so than anything else, undesirable. The actual financial implication means nothing, so to speak. So if you think about society, norms change all the time. And women usually are the first to be expected to adhere to whatever those social norms are. So you're right. It starts with weight. Then, when motion pictures began, when humans could be captured, and then they could, like, be on larger screens, at first in black and white and then in color. Well, then became the need to entice people.
mm.
So then it went from fashion to, eyelashes have been around for a long time, people. Women have been rocking
Not like the
eyelashes.
ones that they're wearing now. I don't know
Well,
where
that's a
these came from.
well, okay, you shouldn't steal butterfly wings and put them on your eyes. But that's
I
another
thought they
story.
were mustaches on their
You
eyelashes.
can do whatever you want with them. But to each his own. It's like I guess the idea of baby dolls. Remember early baby dolls
I
had
do.
big lashes like that?
No, they
The
didn't. They weren't that big.
Well,
These are
and ref
ridiculous.
well, no, in reference to their eyes, the lashes were exaggerated.
Yeah.
Well, humans are like that. We exaggerate everything more than what it is. So for women, the evolution of everything social, what becomes a barometer? If you want to look at your society and figure out what's going on, look what's happening with women, because it'll tell you a lot about where the mental and emotional spaces are within society. So we know we push for perfection all the time. So what AI did in its softest form was it allowed people to modify themselves and look more like what they wanted, which you're right. It means you could maybe have a dewy, flawless complexion. You could change your eye color. You could change your hair. You could put a little makeup on. So the filter piece was everywhere. And it's funny because you'll hear people saying, "Can I see a picture of you without a filter?" Like, I kind of need to know what you look like. And it's funny that we've gotten to that place that that request might be made.
Yeah.
So it just kind of turns into, yes, it began as something that seemed funny and interesting, and now it's almost commonplace that most people cannot post a picture without modifying it in some way.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the before and after, you'll know why. Because you don't recognize the person before the filter. So what I did, I'll be honest, what I did was I used one of the filters on I forgot what app I was on. And I studied it. And so I decided to apply decided oh, hold on. My dad wants to get in on this, I'm sure. Hold on, here he is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my dad too. He's going to jump in on this conversation. Hey, good morning, Dad. Dad, hold on. There you go. We can't hear you. Okay, I have to come back to him. Dad, you
Well,
there?
I can hear you.
Oh, there you
He's
go.
there.
He's there. Hi,
There he is.
Dad.
Hi.
Hey, Dad. You're on the LaDonna
Yeah.
Raeh Show.
Oh,
I got a whole show, Dad.
okay.
We're talking about women and their filters. I'm talking about like the long eyelashes. So I was just
Yeah.
saying that when I took a picture with the filter, I studied it and I decided to apply my makeup like the filter since I liked it so much. Let me see what I can come up with in real life instead of relying on a filter because those filters make your chin look slimmer, your eyes look more dramatic and even bigger. What is it with you men? What attracts you to a woman? Do you look at a filtered picture and then you want to meet her, or would you rather her look the same everywhere? Dad.
I'd rather for it to look the same everywhere.
Well, well, what if so that kind of takes your choice away from you when she's using a filter, right?
Well, you see us filter, and you get attracted to the filter. Then when you see the real person, that's not like that. You say, what's going on here?
Maya, Maya, my dad, he's a man's man, okay? He will tell you what his attraction is when it comes to women. But Maya, you don't wear any filters. You just have beautiful, flawless skin. Eh,
I don't know if I could say all that, but I'm not actually. I don't do. I think the only thing I did for fun with filters is when they had this AI system that would create all these versions of you.
yeah.
So I'm a big sci-fi person, so people know that. So some of the filters were like these really cool sci-fi things, but that was just for the fun of it. I was like, oh, okay, that's super cool. But to be honest, all my pictures on social media, generally speaking, they're me, and I don't put filters on. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is just who I am. I mean, but I'm also not posting because I'm not looking for affirmation or for people to necessarily say, oh my God, you look so amazing. It's like, okay, I'm not seeking that from people. So you got to ask yourself, the person, when people get locked into filters, what's the reason
Mhm.
behind the action? Is it it's fun, or is it gives them that version of themselves that they cannot attain without it, and they like the response they get because of it?
It's like lying on your resume though.
To a degree.
It just is. It's like lying on your resume. This is what I look like. I woke up like this. Okay, Dad, back to you. Have you noticed that in your years of dating, and a woman when she doesn't have her hair done, she acts one way, but when she gets back from the hair salon, does her mood change? Does she change into someone different, like more confident, more snazzy, more harder to deal with?
Well, I really can't say because all the women I ever dated, their hair was always done.
Always, Dad.
Yes.
Okay, Maya.
Hey, what? I, I can't refute his answer if that's what he says. Um, okay, but let's be honest. I think this is not just women. There's something to be said when you leave the salon and someone's taken the time to give you that nice, like you love how your hair looks. To be honest, it's generally something that you can't achieve at home. So you do kind of walk out feeling good. I think men feel the same way when they come out of the barber shop. They're freshly, they're shaved, lined up. I think they feel good too. I think just in general, when people have what they feel like is attention to their physical appearance that's positive, they feel good. And you know that. They'll tell you, for instance, what? And you can attest to this. When people are overweight and they lose weight, they instantly have a shift in their mood and their attitude towards themselves. They feel better. They feel more attractive because human nature is grounded in being accepted. Remember, if you're pushing the species forward, that means reproduction, people. What do you have to do? Within your very
Hey, there's
makeup,
no
your DNA.
reproduction going on here.
Well, I'm just saying, but you did it enough to know what I mean.
What?
Uh,
Oh, oh, wow.
it isn't like you're not new to this, so you know what I mean.
Okay.
But bottom line just turns into, it's a hardwire that people want to be attractive and draw people in. Hence, there are actually animals in the kingdom that tell you this. Peacocks, the males, their feathered tails are bigger than women. Lions, male lions have manes, their attraction. So we know by sheer design, by DNA, attraction is inserted into the desire to be able to be seen to get to whatever your ultimate objectives, whether it's reproduction or not. It's part of every species to want to be seen as attractive.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, Dad, and that this makes me feel a little bad because I know that I was supposed to cut your hair yesterday and I forgot my clippers. And
Okay.
it makes you feel good when you get a haircut, and I didn't do that for you. So looks like I'll be there tomorrow.
Well, I always got a haircut every week
I
because I never wanted to look like I needed a haircut, you know.
Yeah. You do look like the wolf man. Your hair grows so fast.
Well, I always got it cut every week
Okay. All right. Well,
all my life.
I'll be to see you tomorrow. Therefore, that way we don't miss a week. Okay. I apologize.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Maya and Dad, so much for touching on this topic. This has been, one of those observations that are made when it comes to women, AI, the craze that's going on. I mean, even for me, I feel like I act the same way no matter what. But speaking on that weight loss topic, I did recently lose some weight, a lot. And I do feel better about myself. I think before I was more focused on where I used to be as far as my weight, and now I just want to maintain it and be healthy. So it can change your attitude for the better, but some people it changes their attitude for the worse. Don't let that be you.
This is true.
All right,
Well, I,
guys.
I could attest to this. You do look better when you lose the weight, you know.
Oh yeah, and see, and Dad, aren't I dancing to my favorite song by the Whispers?
Well, you were dancing anyway.
Well, that's true. That's true. All right, guys. Love you both. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for having us.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Bye. All right, that was mom. That was my dad, and that was my really good bestie, Maya. I am so glad that they called in this morning to talk about this whole thing. But hey, there's people out there losing their minds when they have enhancements. Okay, so those are AI. It's artificial intelligence. Some people are displaying artificial intelligence of emotions. They just don't have it, and there's something to be said about that. I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to get on with our next topic, which is the Queen. The Queen has jumped on board with AI. Queen Latifah has jumped on board with partnering with Lenovo Technologies to go ahead and enforce the fact that she's okay with them using her likeness. Now, there's been a lot of people on the picket lines. They have been striking, writer strikes, actors guild strikes, because of this AI revolution, if you will. AI has been around for a long time. I know you hear it now. There was a movie out back in the early 2000s called AI. Nobody paid attention to it. But if you look at it, the historical factor in AI says that AI will essentially take over the world. This is possible because the capacity keeps expanding, whereas a human brain's capacity is very limited. Now, we can learn all we can learn, but you're only going to access so much of a percentage of your brain, your actual brain. Has anyone exceeded the 10% mark? I'm not sure. But in AI, it constantly retains, learns, and then the results are based on that. If our results were based on that, which they are, we learn, and it's hard to unsee or unlearn something once you've learned it or seen it or even heard it. You can forget it, right? You may forget about it and may apply it differently, but with AI, it's always there. So you have to be careful about that. Now, AI started back in the day. Think about it. When you call any type of a firm or institution or even a bill collector, it tells you it has voice recognition or even pressing one or two. All of that is if this, then that. If this, then that. So I went to school for programming. I recognize back end AI altogether. The reason why AI is so popular now is because there's front end entry that, or input, I should say. The input that you put in is and the results are based on the information that you put into the AI platform. You need a platform in order to use it. You can't just for instance, there's simple language AI. So like your smart device at home, I won't say the name, it can only give you so much. It is programmed to say, if you use this keyword, I'm going to give you this information. It's very limited. Now, I do suspect that will change and it will evolve to keep up with AI in itself. And I wouldn't be surprised if ChatGPT came up with their own smart device in your home. Be careful though, because it's always listening. I don't doubt that AI is not paying attention to what's on my computer already. So just be careful and be mindful and know that you heard it right here on the LaDonna Raeh Show. But back to Queen Latifah. She is partnering up with Lenovo and she also wants to help small businesses in this aspect. So think about it. If you have a spokesperson like Keanu Reeves or a Queen Latifah or Tom Cruise or Oprah Winfrey, your stock status will go up because you have the endorsements of these individuals. Well, in AI, you're able to replicate their voices, their likenesses, and their endorsements, possibly, which is a no no because they didn't actually endorse your brand. And this can be very dangerous. This is why there are concerns that have surfaced from the entertainment industry. The other thing is when you answer the calls that come through your phone, those spam calls that mimic your area code and possibly the first part of your phone number, you answer, you say hello, and you hear this sound. They may be recording your voice to add it to their database. Be very mindful of that. I never say yes because I don't, even though they may be able to just finagle and make it where my voice says yes, but I never say yes to someone I don't know because they can take my yes, possibly, and append it to some type of contract or contractual agreement. I don't want to be a part of that. So when I answer the phone, I always say hello and they say my name. And I always respond with, do we know each other? And they say, they may make up a lie and say, yeah, we spoke back in February. No, we didn't. Or they may say, well, no, but I do want to offer you. No, you don't. So be very mindful of the people that are calling you because you don't know why they're calling you. There's your name is in a database. If you're ordering on these online apps, such as T-Mobile, yeah, they may be taking your information and selling it. It may be in a database. I use it. Okay. But I only use certain information. I stick with my payment method is PayPal. That way they have to go through PayPal in order to get to me. So I try to keep it safe that way. But AI is a um, revolutionary platform that we need to be mindful of. So just keep in mind to keep it safe. All right. There are so many more episodes that are coming your way on the LaDonna Raeh Show. Today is Monday. I'm going to be more consistent with this so that you can tap in and share, comment, like, and don't forget to subscribe. That subscription is so important. I'm going to go ahead and say I have seen our numbers go up quite a bit recently, probably because we've been posting. I also produce a show on the weekends for the Wake Up Show. For the rest of the year, we're going to be vamping or unlaunch. What am I saying here? Unlaunching? You can't unlaunch. Relaunching our strategy for 2024. I hope you're doing the same thing. It's so important that you prepare for the final year, or the next year, I should say. The final months of this year are so important because we're in the fourth quarter. Now, I know a lot of people are looking at the holidays as time to spend money. Look at it as time to reappropriate money. Okay. So before we get on with to the end of the show, I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our show. And I want to say thank you for those of you that have encouraged me to come back online. And it is such a warm welcome every time I hear that. And what else can I say? I just, our next show is going to be more lighthearted. It's hard to start off with what's going on in the world today, but we got to keep going and keep praying and keep hope alive, as Jesse Jackson used to say. I think that that's so important but don't lose it. And always, always show integrity. All right. So thank you so much for watching. We're going to get out of here because I got stuff to do, like feed my dog. I'll see you on the next show, next go round on the LaDonna Raeh Show. I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh. Bye-bye for now.